I'm going to call this meeting to order. Can we begin with roll call?
Ms. Gandy,
Here.
Mrs. Aguilera Chavez, Mrs. Schumacher,
Here.
Mrs. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Gardner,
Here.
Mr. Sorensen, Chair Wright,
Here.
All right. Will everyone join me with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And that will move us to Education Corner.
Good evening, everyone. Education Corner is, we're just going to cover some information that we already put out. So primaries. Primaries are coming August 18th. We know that strong schools require local control and sustainable funding. We put out some information earlier on our Facebook page and for others just to encourage folks to go out. Whether you have folks that are in those seats that you agree with right now or you'd like to see a change, good. Either way, go out and vote. We had in 2024 in the primary elections, we had just under 6,500 people in Sweetwater County participate in selecting the candidates that were going to go forward to shape our local and state leadership. All elections are important. Your voice is needed to shape the direction and where not only public education goes, but the state goes as a whole. So what we're encouraging folks to do is get out, make sure that you vote. We'll be providing opportunities for our staff members on that day to make sure that they can get out and vote as well. So our Education Corner is just about being a responsible citizen and doing your civic duty to get out and make sure that you vote for the candidate for which you believe is going to represent you the best. So thank you.
And we'll move into superintendent reports or highlights.
We have a few. So we've got a few pieces of information that were shared with me. I thought they were pretty cool, so I wanted to put these out. We have a read together activity. All of these activities are happening down at the Rock Springs Library at 400 C Street. We've got a read together event on August 14th at 4 o'clock. And it looks like Sheriff Rich Fisher is going to be reading a book to kids. There is another event, same place on August 21st. And then there's another one on August 28th at 8 o'clock or at 4 o'clock, I'm sorry, down at the Rock Springs Library, where Chief Wamsley is going to be reading books to kids. So if you have an opportunity, you can make it out. It's a little event called Read Together, which should be pretty cool to get people out for. And then we had some information around meeting at City Hall September 1st, 10 o'clock. City Hall, and it is National Literacy Month and Suicide Prevention Month. So I think there's going to be some conversations going on down at City Hall on September 1st at 10 o'clock. Other highlights, this is a week we've got administrators back. We've got teachers coming in. We have our staff kickoff on Friday morning with the benefits fair. At the benefits fair, we're also putting out a Google form that's got a QR code looking for volunteers. So what we're going to do is we're going to collect volunteers in the meeting for buildings and teachers that want individuals to come out and either read to kids, help in the office, be a greeter, help in the cafeteria, help at the end of the school day. We have a QR code for staff members and building administrators to share what they're looking for, times and dates. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make that list available to members of the community and those that have shared interest that they wanted to come out and volunteer at our schools. So we've already had some reach outs from some of our local civic organizations and some other individuals that have reached out. We're figuring we're going to see if this is a good way to help get some more volunteers into our schools. So we're excited about doing that. And then the September board meeting, prior to the September board meeting, we have board workshop. So at the board workshop, we'll be doing some updates from the beginning of the school year. I don't think we have YTOP scores yet back, but we should have a pretty solid update on some of the construction events that are going on, the CT building updates, So we're going to pull a bunch of the updates that have worked in some work in construction that's gone through the summertime so that we can present it at the September workshop. And then October, we jump right into buildings where we go out to the buildings first, and then we come back for our meeting. So we're kind of excited for the new layout for this coming school year. And if anybody has any topics of interest that they want for that September board workshop, shoot them my way, and we'll get some information together so that we can share out to the board and whoever else decides to show up. So with that, open for any questions.
I don't think we have any.
There we go.
Okay, so we will do our board reports. As mentioned, Chair Wright is online, and I do believe he has a report that he wants to make too.
Thanks, guys. Hopefully I'm not too loud anymore. I just wanted to quickly acknowledge that I'm attending virtually this evening because my son underwent some surgery today in Salt Lake City and he was just recently released. So I appreciate Vice Chair Schumacher presiding over tonight's meeting, and I appreciate everyone's understanding. And that's it for me tonight.
Do we want to go down the line? I don't know. I think Cole normally does that, right? I believe with Trustee, I guess, do you say your both names for your last name? Chavez is fine. Okay, Trustee Chavez, do you have anything to report to the board? Trustee Gardner? Trustee Anderson?
I do. I want to say thanks everybody for coming
Oh,
tonight.
microphone.
I feel like I'm not allowed.
They can hear you online
So,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah, okay, right. I know, I'm pretty loud. So thanks everybody for coming tonight. And I just wanted to report or ask like what happened to our summer, because here we are starting a new school year. It's not unlike Mondays, and I guess depending on how you feel about your Mondays, whether you like them or you don't, I happen to love Mondays. It's new beginnings, meeting new people. We open up new chapters, and we might learn a thing or two. So my goal for the 26-27 school year is to be one of those people that makes your Monday and your school year a little bit better. So thanks for coming.
Oh, Trustee Sorensen, sorry.
I'll make sure I probably have the floor. Someone agree with that. I got to participate with the Southwest Manufacturing Partnership. They partners with businesses and schools and trying to help build our workforce. And part of their approach is to help the our students that are in school to build the workforce. So I was there for two reasons. One was very selfish for my own business, but two, also for the school district and opportunities for our kids. And so I was going to share. They've got a lot of ideas, but over in Green River, they're doing kind of a work-based learning approach. And on Friday, August 14th, from 7 to 8:30, they're going to have coffee and donuts at the Green River High School and talk more about how their last school year went and such. And I think it's something that we've talked about with the new CTE Center to try and help people to help our students to hit the ground running as best as possible. So it might be kind of neat to, if you're around, I'll be out of town unfortunately, but to be able to go over and just see how it's working next our neighboring district and give us what we can do to bring someone over here. And that's my report for the month.
Trustee Gandy?
I just wanted to say that a while back, I was fortunate enough to be able to tour Washington School, and Annie Fletcher filled me in on a lot of the stuff that we're planning there. So I think that's very exciting, and I wish we could make time go faster so we could get it done quicker. But obviously, we have other things like the CTE building in the works. And I'm looking forward to attending some of the orientation events and school starting. Thank you.
And then I don't have any board reports in regards to actual committees or anything, but they are starting up this year. I appreciate Ms. Anderson's comment because it's definitely a new year. A lot of good things happening, and I'm really excited to see what kind of changes we can continue having throughout the school year. And so I'm also very excited about that. The other thing that I would mention is, because no one has yet, we do have that book study that we had talked about. We are deferring that and beginning it in September, just so that we can have a full board present when we do have discussion on it, just so that everyone is aware as far as that goes. Okay. So then I will need to move on to item agenda 2, where we need to approve the agenda. And as presented, including the addendums.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Now we get to go into public comment. Item 3, communications and correspondence. Before we do, I do want to state and acknowledge that the board has received a letter from an advocacy law firm regarding policy KD. We just want you all to be aware that we understand a letter has received some public attention, and that members of our community may have questions about the concerns that it is raising. The letter raises legal and factual issues concerning both policy and particular instances in which it has been applied. And so we are intending and looking at the legal side of that. We are reviewing the specific concerns, more importantly, that have been raised. We're going to confer with our legal counsel, consider whether modifications to the policy are appropriate to balance the interests of transparency, free speech, and efficient operations. And so with that, I'm going to go with thank you for attending today's board meeting and for your continued engagement with the district. As we move into the public comment portion, we kindly ask that each speaker limit their comments to one opportunity. If you've already submitted written comments, we kindly request that you refrain from addressing the board again on the same topic. All written comments will be posted in the written public comment section of the agenda for review by all attendees, including trustees. Speakers may comment on district policies, operations and programs, and other matters that relate directly to the school district and the board's business. We ask that issues that are not of general importance to the broader community or relevant to the board's governance of the district should be addressed through appropriate administrative channels. Comments regarding the performance or employment of individual district employees are not permitted during public comment. Formal complaints about school personnel may be submitted to the Board of Trustees in accordance with policy KLD and using the form KLD-E. Staff complaints or grievances should follow the procedures outlined in policy GBM. Comments regarding individual students will not be permitted. The district is legally prohibited from discussing confidential student matters in a public forum. If you are unable to finish your comment within the allotted 3 minutes, we invite you to submit the remainder in writing to the superintendent or board chair. These submissions will be shared with all board members after the meeting and will receive a response in the same manner as public comments. With that, you'll see item B under section 3 does provide us with our written public comments that we did receive for tonight's board meeting. If you have not, please review those. And then I believe this is where I open it up for the public to make comments. Yes, please.
So I apologize, it's written. Here we go. Good evening, my name is Heather Hager, and I'm a homeschool parent here in Sweetwater County. Been homeschooling my 2 kids for the last 12 years, and they are both now 17, and if you didn't ask, they're not twins. Just really close. First, I'd like to thank Miriam Brown, Kelsey Hibbs, HSLDA, and the Homeschool Wyoming state organization for bringing Sweetwater homeschoolers here this evening. I was really hoping for more of us, but waving out to you. Thank you for coming. And this is actually my first school board meeting. Our family chose many years ago to educate our children outside of the public school system, so I haven't had much reason to become involved with the board before now. Originally, I came tonight because I had concerns about the proposed changes to the district's homeschool policies. I understand those changes have now been removed from tonight's agenda, and I want to thank the board for being willing to reconsider those that were posted. I recognize that the new education savings account program creates circumstances the district needs to address, and I certainly understand that families choosing to participate in public programs may be subject to requirements associated with that participation. My concern is simply that we maintain a clear distinction between families participating in ESA programs and Wyoming families independently exercising their right to provide a privately funded, parent-directed, home-based educational program. Wyoming law recently changed specifically to remove the annual notification requirement for homeschool families. As future policies are drafted, I hope the district will carefully incorporate those changes and avoid inadvertently recreating requirements the legislature has removed. I also hope the district will consider communicating with local homeschool families before a revised policy comes forward. I think many of us would be happy to help identify unintended consequences before a policy reaches the board. And I did write up some proposed suggestions and rationale for those proposed suggestions. If I can hand that to you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
And I did mean to mention, so I do apologize. We did pull that item that was already just discussed when it comes to the policy at IGCB. Ultimately, we're going to follow a different procedure for it all, and we hope to be able to follow the correct guidelines for it. We're going to review it and make sure that it is what it needs to be, not only amongst the state guidelines, but for what the board also wants to have within a policy that we're going to support. Do we have further public comment? Oh, go ahead.
Mary Hamilton. I have probably homeschooled 20 plus years. So I've had a great relationship with the district. I just wanted to make sure I brought copies of the letter from the homeschool legal defense attorney for you. Also, in regards to the website, when you talk about your policy, it says to Ms. Murphy, it says to contact her, and it's the policy is in the regular posted place, but there's no link to it actually. So it'd be really helpful if you could actually put the link on the website to the policy. But other than that, I do believe you do need one homeschool advocate if you're going to start working with the policy. We have many of us that would appreciate to be part of that. So thank you.
And just so you guys are aware, I mean, we do encourage anyone to reach out to us as far as that goes with any sort of advocacy you would like to do for homeschooling and really just in general. So don't hesitate to get a hold of us. Further public comment? Oh, you're going to get it, Cheryl.
Hello, Jeffrey Smith. I represent a number of neighbors on Willamette and Hunter's Cove whose homes back up to the complex of schools at Sage and Pilot Butte Elementary, where a new road is being proposed and being going to be built. We are asking and recommending that no action be taken tonight or in the near future without engaging the neighborhood with some kind of discussion to ensure that any kind of changes or construction there isn't happening without a dialogue with us, that we're able to have some input. We understand that there's a traffic study to be presented that's been presented to you that in your packet, and also a design. And we would love to be able to have dialogue about that before it progresses. So love to have a meeting, and maybe a bunch of neighbors come, maybe nobody comes, I'm not sure. But for whatever reason, I've been appointed or asked throughout the neighborhood to be the voice, to speak to you and ask that we have some kind of communication. I met with Dr. Libby today and Mr. Celeroli, and they've been very helpful in explaining and presenting to me what plans look like going forward and the timeline and things like that. So love to be able to have that dialogue with the rest of the neighborhood going forward before anything is finalized. So I'd ask the board not to make any final decisions before there is that opportunity here, perhaps even in the next couple of weeks. We would appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Members of the board, Superintendent Libby. My name is Sherelle O'Driscoll, and I come tonight with a petition, and I would like to have it a petition concerning Trustee Cole Wright. I would like to have him either step down or be removed as board chair for the violation of District Policy BBFE, the open meetings violation, and open meetings concerns over Dr. Libby's contract, acting beyond the authority of an individual trustee, failure to represent constituents, unprofessional conduct towards a citizen, potential violation of student privacy of FERPA, suppression of public participation in meetings. I have to have 5 signatures to present this to the board. I have 105. I wanted to also provide you with a copy of the Wyoming Constitution and the US Constitution for the letter that was done for what I was doing. That was sent from the Goldwater Institute on my behalf. But I would like to let everybody know that we started this petition in April. We gave Cole Wright the opportunity to change, and he has not. So I brought it back up, and so some of the signatures are from April, but majority of them are from this past couple days that I have gathered them. I wanted to start with the state code that goes by the Wyoming, that we live each day with courage, take pride in your work, always finish what you start, do what has to be done, be tough but fair. When you make a promise, keep it, ride for the brand, talk less, say more. Remember, things are not for sale and know where to draw the line. I told Dr. Libby and Cole Wright in a meeting in May that if they were to keep coming and we were not going to be able to work together, I was going to put my feet into the sand and come back and fight back. And here I am. I may be as stubborn as a mule, but I have the patience of an ox. So I'm ready to go. My youngest child is only in 1st grade, so you got me a lot longer here. I understand we need to be solution-based, and I am trying, but nobody wants to answer my questions anymore. It is getting really, really ridiculous. Whether I'm writing them in an email, to him, to her, to these people, I do not get an answer, and it's not fair. So that's why I am saying we all need to come together, support the teachers. We have great teachers. I'm not saying that we are having a lot of problems there, but you know where the problem lies, and that's where I'm asking everybody to come together and be vocal. So here's my petition with 105 signatures, and here are the 2 constitutions. Thank you.
And thank you, Sherelle. With that, I will just tell you we are acknowledging that we received the petition, and we do and will have a response within the next 30 days.
Good evening, Superintendent Libby, members of the board. I started noticing checks being written and approved through the district for Superintendent Libby's mileage, and I questioned why. What I learned shocked me. His automobile allowance is $1,500 every month, $18,000 a year. So what exactly are taxpayers paying $18,000 a
And
year
Kari,
for?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but will you start the time just so it's fair for everyone? Sorry,
No,
the
you're
timer
fine.
just wasn't started.
Okay. Because his contract says the automobile allowance is for vehicle expenses and then specifically provides additional mileage for out of district trips related to school business. Yet the record shows Superintendent Libby repeatedly submitted and this board repeatedly approved additional mileage reimbursement for trips to Farson and Wamsutter. Those are not out of district trips. Those are our schools and those are our students. So let's be very clear about something. Distance doesn't change that. Farson and Wamsutter may be further away than one of our Rock Springs schools, but they are every bit a part of Sweetwater County School District Number 1. That is precisely why this board has trustees representing different areas. In district means in district. The car allowance is for that purpose. And one reimbursement goes even further. It actually says in-town visits. In-town visits, 30 miles for $21.75. Superintendent Libby, you signed the contract. Why did you believe that was appropriate to submit? And Chair Wright, you signed the contract, the amendments, and you even signed some of the purchase orders. Why was this allowed to continue? I started questioning this more than a year ago, hoping someone responsible for financial oversight would catch it and ask the same question. Yet here we are. Another mileage expenditure was approved in July. Meanwhile, nurses, PTs, OTs, and other district might get appropriate mileage because of their jobs, but they also don't receive an $18,000 automobile allowance. That's what makes this so troubling. If the $1,500 monthly automobile allowance isn't paying for the superintendent to conduct business within his own district, then tell taxpayers exactly what it's for. And this isn't about mileage anymore. We're paying close attention to every benefit contained in the superintendent's contract. And now we are trying to change contracts affecting certified staff that were approved in April by this board. School starts next week. We have counselors and people in critical positions, people that our students rely on every single day, are still facing uncertainties about their employment. We have an assistant superintendent who doesn't have a contract. Contracts can't be rigid when they benefit the superintendent and suddenly flexible when they affect everyone else. At this point, there are way too many red flags to continue acting as though what is happening in this district is normal and acceptable. Chairman Wright, leadership of this board matters. The board chair should lead the board, not follow the superintendent. The superintendent works for this board. The board does not work for this superintendent. Superintendent's Libby contains provision for termination for cause. I'm asking this board to examine his compliance with his contract, these reimbursements, his performance, and his financial decisions occurring under his leadership. If there's a legitimate contractual explanation for these reimbursements, show the public. And if the evidence shows that leadership changes are necessary, make them. Our district is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not a place to build yourself up financially, break apart what others spent decades building, and leave everyone else to pick up those pieces. This district is filled with wonderful staff, educators, and families, and they deserve leadership that is accountable to all of them. Do better.
Do we have further public comment?
Hi, sorry, this is my first meeting and I'm a little nervous. We are here representing the ELL Parent Committee. Our ELL committee had a reunion last week or a few weeks ago with Dr. Libby.
Again, I don't mean to interrupt you, I'm sorry, but will you start the timer? Sorry. Okay, go ahead, sorry.
We had a meeting with Dr. Libby the other day and he told our parents that there were no funds to keep our person that helped our Latin parents. We come here because we are worried due to the help that our students and our parents were receiving was taken away in this current situation that we are in as Hispanics and as Latin people with immigration. A lot of our students are currently don't have either one of their parents or both. And with this help from our person that was taken away is a lot worse for us. We hope that our district has more compassion for our Latin community and our Hispanic people. This is not just about translating for our people, but it's also for helping us in this hard time. And our parents did represent a petition that had over 200 signatures. That was it.
Que pues que esperemos que tomen acción sobre las firmas que ya envió.
She mentioned that we hope you guys take action for some of our signatures that we already sent out.
Porque esto es como si fuera, como está de difícil la situación ahorita. Sentimos como que es parte de, como que nos están cortando también a nosotros.
Due to how, like I mentioned about our process or our problem with, not our problem, but this whole situation with immigration, we feel that this help that was taken away is sort of like pointing at Hispanic community and in a way just going for us.
Porque si hay dinero para otras cosas, porque no hay dinero para mantener la posición de la persona que nos ha ayudado durante todos estos años.
Because if there is funds for many other stuff, why is there not enough funds to keep our person that has helped us throughout all of these years?
Y que pues a ver si nos pueden ayudar porque necesitamos la ayuda para todos los estudiantes.
And we hope you guys can help us out, and hopefully us coming here and again speaking with Dr. Libby, we hope that you guys make a better, make a better decision, but help us out in the situation right now. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Is there further public comment?
Okay. I'm going to wait for the timer to start just to
Thank
make
you.
sure. Okay. First, I want to say thank you to this group of ladies who just came and spoke. I know that speaking can be intimidating, especially if English is not your first language. And I want to just thank you all for speaking because I've personally been really concerned about this same situation. So thank you for being here. I just wanted to speak about the homeschool policy IHBG. I know that it had been on the agenda for tonight, and I know that it was just removed. I am grateful that it was not asked to be voted on from the district to the board because it was definitely not ready to be passed, but it did have me concerned about the process. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about that. If you're not familiar, policy IHBG is our homeschool policy for our district. And while homeschool students are not enrolled in public school, they are still considered part of our district by means of demographic. And if they were to be enrolled, that does, affect our ADM and all of that because they would be students of the public school system, and they are able to be participating in some of the extracurriculars or specials within our district. So those students do matter whether or not they're in our daily attendance. Last year, I do know that on July 1st, 2025, the Wyoming House Bill 0172 was the Repeal Gun-Free Zones Act, and that became effective, like I said, on July 1st, 2025. Before that became effective, our board did let the community know that this had been passed and that this would be possibly changing, this would be changing the policy that would need to be passed regarding concealed carry within public schools. And I was here last year when we appealed to the public, we being the district, saying, hey, this is going to be going into effect. We would like to hear your feedback. And we gave people time to do that. Ironically, the same thing on the same day, July 1st, 2025, the House Bill 46 was passed, which is the homeschool bill that took away the requirement for families who are homeschooling to submit curriculum to their homeschool district. So it has been an entire year since that was passed, but we didn't hear or see any public notification of policies being changed because no policies were being changed. So our policies were not being updated with the bills that were being passed. So I wanted to come to the board and ask to see if you guys are aware and if the district is aware what the correct steps that should be taken, if they're being taken when bills or laws are being changed, because it's a little concerning to me that we had two things passed the same exact day, went into effect. We only heard about a change in homeschool policy a year later. It makes me wonder who on the policy committee is supposed to be keeping track of bills or laws being passed and what the process is supposed to be as far as notifying the public and asking for public input, because tonight it was on the agenda to be approved by the board, not to be discussed. And that's highly concerning because the only reason it was pulled from the agenda was after a whole community of homeschoolers got involved and had to have the national organization that represents homeschool I can't think of the word, legalities, send a letter to Cole Wright, and it shouldn't take that much effort from the public. So if you could keep an eye on that, I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have further public comment? Further public comment? I think you say it 3 times, right? Further public comment? Okay. Okay, then we will move on to responses to previous month's public comment.
And I believe those folks that had public comment last night or last month have already been responded to.
Some no need? Okay, then we will move on to consent agenda items A through H. At this time, do I have a motion to approve? And a second?
Second.
Do we have discussion? No discussion? I thought I was doing that right. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All not in favor? Sorry, I just didn't hear everyone say it. Okay, then I would say that that passes. Now, we move on to nutrition services, item 5. I know that in speaking with Chair Wright prior to today's meeting and getting just kind of informed on what is going on there, he had brought to my attention that something that is currently taking place is we are asking for a 25-cent increase in lunch pricing. Unfortunately, Ms. Aramosby is not present today, so we don't have anyone to answer a lot of questions, although I do believe we have people here who can answer questions. More than anything, I think the one thing to mention with this is that unfortunately, it's one of those things where it's just a necessary evil. It's unfortunate because we're not trying to target those who have a struggle in paying for lunch to begin with. I do believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, it doesn't include the free and reduced lunches as far as that goes. But with that being said, we are still in a deficit no matter what. That's a self-funded program. We don't have anything to really provide for that. And so that's why we're seeing this increase as of right now. And it's something that, like I said, it's just a necessary evil that we're having to do to try to increase and recoup some costs that will help go towards that program altogether. With that, does this one get a discussion? Okay, so I will move to approve this item 5. Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, and now we get to discuss this one. Does anyone have any thoughts or input?
Sure.
Oh, Mr. Gardner, you want to go first?
I just wanted to make a quick comment. It's really something that I hate to see us doing, but I can understand the necessity behind it. One of the things that has come up, though, in recent discussions throughout the last year is that we have a large number of families within our district who do qualify for the free and reduced meals, but have not applied or not taken advantage of that service. And so I just wanted to kind of reiterate to the community that if this is placing a burden on you, there's a really good chance that you do qualify for the free and reduced meal programs. And I would just encourage to please take advantage of that there's a host of benefits for both you and the district. The programs are there for a reason, and the enrollment helps us out in a lot of ways. So if it is a financial concern to you, please take advantage of those programs.
Trustee Sorensen?
Well, he spoke so well. No, my point I was going to make is being an owner of a restaurant, I can speak to the cost of food is skyrocketing. So I would imagine the 25-cent increase probably is not keeping up with the cost of food. And so I'll do that comment just so people understand what it's like to try to provide lunches for everybody. And also to know that we need to keep track and make sure we don't get too far behind on where food costs go versus what people are paying. And it's just part of life.
And I apologize because I should have mentioned the increase, I was given this by Ms. Bolton, the increase would be approximately $37,000 that we're able to bring in revenue by doing so. But with that being said, we are supplementing our program from the general fund from anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million. So as you can see, yes, it's definitely helping, but it's just a very small percentage, and it's just going to help contribute towards that. Any further discussion? No? Okay. Then I would, okay, it's all in favor. Apologize. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And all not in favor, please say aye. Then that will pass. Okay, moving on, we have item 6, which is the 2026-2027 handbooks. With that, do I have a motion to approve those? And a second?
I'll second it.
And is there any discussion?
Ms. Schumacher?
Oh, yes?
Might just weigh in on this one. Everybody probably notices it's kind of just a very minor change. There was a previous representation that K through 6 had the same start time, and so this differentiates. K3 is at 7:35 and 4-6 is at 7:45. So it's just a minor cleanup, really.
Anything else? Okay. So then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone who's not? Okay, that passes. Item 7 is board information. With that, I would say there's quite a few policies that are on there, so please make sure you pay attention to those. Read through them. Let us know if there's any discussion as far as that goes that you may have interest in regarding that. With that, we also have our vacancy notice that is posted there. So if anyone has any questions on that as well, please let us know. I apologize. Tiffany's going to present for us. Ms. Gunter is going to give us a presentation. Well, she's going to give us some information. Let's say that.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. I just wanted to give a quick update about our staffing process overview. So every March of each school year, when we start to get information either from recalibration, we start to meet with our building principals. We take the time to meet with every building and we discuss staffing. So that can be various things of what the needs are, what the funding is going to be. And from each of those discussions, we start to talk about, is there positions that we need to open? Are there positions that we need to absorb or close? So that starts from early on. This year, we did take recalibration into account. And so thanks to Matt and Joe for being on, Dr. Libby for being on that and giving us all of the information for that. So we do take into account of all of that. We have to make sure that we are meeting the needs of our students in our buildings, but also being fiscally responsible. I felt like the best way to present this brief information to you today was to compare August to August, since we're at our August board meeting. Last August of 2025, we had 43 open positions. This August, we have 38 open positions. When we look at that last August, on that night, you guys approved to hire 6. Tonight, you're approving to hire 7. Last year, in August of 2025, we had 19 long-term subs that were beginning to start the school year. This year, we have 7 long-term subs are going to be beginning to start the school year. This year, we are going to have virtual special education teachers. I'm happy to get into more detail about that at the September board, or not board meeting, but what do I want to call it? Workshop. If you guys would like me to present on that and give information on that, I'm happy to do that. And so last year in August of 2025, we had 18 open remaining certified positions. Tonight, after everything is done, we'll have 19. Of those 19, though, I think it's important to note that 6 of those are instructional assistants. So those are hired out of Mrs. Gardner's office. They help with our testing. So it is a certified position, but it's not a teacher position that they're in our buildings every single day. One of those positions is an in-house legal counsel. We do have a resource room teacher that is open, but they're currently interviewing for that position. So hopefully that's good news. We have a music teacher that is open. We have 2 SLPs, so speech language pathologists that are open. We have 4 school psychs district-wide open, a social worker at Lowell, an at-risk coordinator, a business teacher at Rock Springs High School, a literacy interventionist at Rock Springs High School. I do want to touch on those because last month there was a celebration that our Rock Springs High School was full. That's why we don't talk about it, right? You have to knock on wood so it all stays that way, which these are really, really great things. So we did decide that the business teacher and the literacy intervention positions were opened at the end of July. The business teacher was in a response to the enrollment needs in that area. And then the literacy intervention position was open to support our intervention needs for our students at the high school. That is just really brief. I know that there was an email that was sent for communication. If you guys have any questions and you feel like there's more information that is needed, like I said, please reach out and I'm happy to present on that at the board workshop in September.
Perfect. Thank you. And I apologize I didn't call you up. I was even told that right before. Nope, just kidding. Okay. With that, I do believe we move into executive session. Do I give my little spiel before that? We just move and then I'll tell them that we don't anticipate. Okay. Can I get a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
And all in favor? Anyone not? Okay. So we are going to go into executive session. Just so you all know, we don't anticipate that we're going to have any action upon our return. Yeah,
I'm way ahead.
just waiting on you, Josh.
I
Okay,
move to return to regular session.
okay, perfect. Second.
Second.
Fair. Now you haven't been saying the names on who seconds or does anything. Okay, well, good thing. Okay, so then anyone that, or everyone that's in favor, say aye. Anyone not in favor? Okay, so we're back into regular session, and I do believe we need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone not in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned at 8:58.
We beat 9 o'clock.
Sometimes just put me in. It's like we're getting